Hi, Laura.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, we'll see if anybody else hops on, but I figured I'd at least try it for a few minutes and see what happened.
I just wanted to see your beautiful face.
Well, what do you think? What do you think of what's happened tonight?
Oh my God. I just felt like,
Hey, we'll see if anybody else
it was
hops on, but
somebody
I
was
figured I'd at least try to see what happened.
fingernails on a chalkboard every time he opened his mouth.
I just want. Well, what do you think? What do you think of what's happened tonight?
Oh my God. Oh, on what do you
I just
my
felt like
my thing. I think I'm a little off here as far as talking.
Oh, you know what? I made the same mistake before.
Can you hear me? Okay.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I can.
I don't know how to do this picture thing with my, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Start video. Ah,
Oh, there
there I
we go.
am.
Okay.
Oh, the cripey. Yeah. I'm sitting in a dark room. Doesn't look too good. What do you talk about, the primary or this debate?
I was listening to the debate, um, on kind of one ear, but I was really paying more attention to the down ballot races as the numbers were trickling in. I just heard in the last 30 seconds that Mike Liberty called Karen Leod Hill to concede that primary. So Karen Leod Hill won that primary.
And where is she?
That's
What part is she?
Cindy. Yeah, that's Cindy's executive council seat. That's the one seat that no matter what happens, Democrats will hold. And it was interesting because you had Karen, who was, 20 plus years in local politics and government. She was the mayor of Lebanon a long time ago. She's a city councilor. She's the Grafton County treasurer. And she was running against Mike Liberty, who was brand new to politics in New Hampshire, had made a lot of money in the tech industry. He was from the Hollis area originally, and he came
Hmm.
back. He lives in New London, and he decided he was going to run for executive council. And he largely, self-funded or raised a lot of the money. Yeah, I mean, a tremendous amount of money. And it was an interesting primary because whoever wins, it's going to be the next executive counselor from that district. And for a lot of folks, I mean, Valinsky was that, Colin was that, Cindy, the last three people that have held that, District 2 seat have ended up
Hmm.
running for governor
Ah,
because
how is
it's the platform it's like a statewide, it's basically like a statewide platform. And if we don't win the governor's seat, then it would be the highest Democrat in state office. That's how it kind of
yeah, I
works.
know. Well, I was a little shocked. I didn't know what was going to happen between Cindy and Joyce. And I didn't know who this other man was. I just heard about him the other day for the first time. So, and it just said that Joyce won the primary.
Yeah, it looks like she's probably going to end up winning. We'll see the final number, but I guess she's probably going to end up winning by like 6 or 7 points.
Okay. How about
Um,
between mm, the executive council for my district between Shoshana and
yeah,
Melanie?
so Melanie ended up winning that, and I haven't seen the final number, but it looks like she's going to end up winning by a pretty decent chunk, by double digits.
Oh,
So
God.
I I'll look tomorrow when the numbers are in on how that went down, but it was, it was. It looks like it was a pretty comfortable victory.
Okay, now we added Michael Pellerito to our as a write-in for the Democrat for my district. So,
Okay.
so
Did that
do you
work
have
out? Like, as a
any?
write-in, it's always a little tricky.
I think he was supposed to have 30 votes to go ahead to
Okay,
the
good.
yeah, so I think he got in as far as I was concerned, because I know he got a lot of votes from New Ipswich, because he is on their boards and the school board and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll work out. I had to sneak into the voting today with my mask and gloves on because I had COVID. And I refused not to vote, and I didn't get it till Friday. So I was like all wrapped up, and people are like, and I took the pencil with me, and he goes, "Do you give us back our pencil?" I said, "No, you don't want this pencil," and I took it with me. But yeah, I've been like, for the past 5-6 days, it feel like I've been hit by a Mack truck, but I did feel better today. I took a shower, I got dressed, Mock drop, let me go in, was there, and I ran in and I ran out, didn't talk to anybody, just did my thing and left. But I was very, very, very,
Well,
feeling guilty at the same time. But I had a mask on and I had gloves on, and my hands are clean.
there
And
you
I've been on
go. There
yeah,
you
well, I've
go.
also had all the vaccines, and I've been on Pavlova for the past 5 days. So I figured
Oh,
maybe there was
wow.
a chance. Yeah. So, uh,
So for other folks, I see some folks that are jumping in on the
oh,
YouTube stream.
good,
So
good.
I'm putting up. I mean, it ended up the second CD with Colin and Maggie was over before it started. We knew before the national polls closed at 8 o'clock that Maggie Goodlander was going to win big. I mean, she was winning when she won Colin's home ward in Concord by 20 something points. You knew Colin's goose was cooked. And then Governor was going back and forth, but it looks like as we look at some of the numbers, basically what ended up happening there was Manchester is bigger than Concord. So Joyce starts the little bit bigger base. And then the commuter zone, all those kind of really red town, Sandown, Hampstead, Salem, all those towns, they're very Republican, but they're big enough that even if a small part of it's Democratic, it's a lot of votes. So Joyce was doing very well in those towns, and Cindy was winning her, Western New Hampshire towns pretty consistently, but not by huge margins. And then the really Democratic towns where I thought Cindy had to really crush it, like Hanover, she was winning them, but she wasn't winning them by a ton. So it's like Cindy would win Hanover, but then Joyce would win, Kingston, and the margins, the raw vote totals, the difference would be pretty similar. And so Joyce was kind of crossing out Cindy's best towns relatively easily. And then eventually the Manchester thing, and so you got that. And then I'm looking at the Karen Leote Hill and Mike Liberty, and Karen just crushed it in the Upper Valley, huge margins, and then was consistently, she was winning a lot of these she won Keene. If you win Keene and you crush the Upper Valley, you're probably going to win that primary, and she did. So great for her. She's gonna and she'll uh, almost certainly be our next executive counselor, which is great. I think the thing that people will be most surprised about is the margin of Maggie's victory over Colin. I mean,
I wasn't.
huge numbers.
Colin made a mistake with the Hillsborough County in this area when it came time to the pipeline. He just threw people aside. He wouldn't talk to us about it. He was very rude to the people around here, and they still have him pictured that way. And I knew from the start that I was voting for Maggie, and I did, but I'm just saying that he didn't leave a lot of good impressions in this area,
I mean,
and especially when he was running for governor.
yeah, I mean, it looks like um, he probably thought that he had more goodwill stored up from his from his gubernatorial run. And also, look, the gender element, and of course, I mean, I experienced this in 2018.
I know.
Tonight, we had two more races between one woman and one straight white guy. And we know since 2018, the first Trump midterm, when you take all congressional races, gubernatorial races, and US Senate races, where you have one woman versus one straight white guy, where there's not an incumbent involved, the win rate in Democratic primaries in that scenario for the woman candidate is north of 90%. And in New Hampshire, we had two more opportunities tonight to test that theory. And Maggie won by 25 points. And Karen, despite being outspent probably 5-1, will, we don't know the final margin yet, but it appears that Karen will have won by, at least a solid mid to high single digit. It's an impressive win, again, despite the fact she was wildly outspent. So that's a big factor, and you got to have unbelievable wind at your back to overcome that. And obviously, neither candidate had that. I've got some more numbers in these remaining towns, although I did get a text to confirm. I was asking around that Mike did reach out to Karen to concede, but one of the biggest ones that was left was the town of Hancock, and Karen won that 272 to 142. So not only is that now off the books, but she actually won it, so her margin got bigger. Yeah, here we are. Then Chesterfield was one of the biggest ones left, and she actually won it 217 to 219 to 119. I mean, these are pretty big. Yeah, those are the two biggest precincts left. We got most of it in. We had the town of Andover and Westmoreland. Like some of these races are like a geography test here. We'll go down. We're going to check out Westmoreland again. Yeah, that one was not, at least we don't have that one in. Get that out. There we go. And now we're down at Cornish, where I suspect she did well. Cornish and Dublin. She won Peterborough. So if you won Peterborough, then you probably did okay in Dublin. And that one is not in. And then Marlborough and Sutton. You can see, I mean, we're getting down to some pretty small towns pretty quick here. Marlborough, Sutton was one of the biggest ones left. Yeah, those were not in. I mean, they're in probably, but we don't have them. And then we're getting down to some very small towns. So this was making sense that he was not making up ground in the remaining towns. And I'm happy to see that Cindy Warmington is already, in her concession speech, was very magnanimous and said, "Hey, look, we got work to do to win the general election." And Thursday morning at the Unity breakfast, it looks like she's going to say and do all the right things, which is always great. And it's not always a gimme. I've had to do that concession speech, and it's hard, but it's the right thing to do. And it sounds like she'll do that. And there you go. Orford came in, and she won Orford handily. Wow, okay, that was one of the biggest wins of the night. It's a small town, but he needed more of these. Liberty won 163 to 84. 163, 84. We're going down to some of these remaining towns, see what we got left. It also looks like Tara Reardon won that three-way primary to replace Becky Whitley. It's mainly Concord, but it also has Bow and Hopkinton. It turns out Rebecca McWilliams came really close to winning that, despite the fact she had very little money. And Rebecca's I mean, she's awesome. She's great. And I suspect it's not the last we heard of her. Angela Brennan ran and she struggled in Concord. And there are probably a few reasons for that. One of them is she's not from Concord. And she was the only one of the three not from Concord. That primary got pretty negative at the end. And I'm not sure that worked to Angela's favor, it looks like, based on the totals. We got little towns like Nelson. See if that's coming. Nope. And little town of Springfield. Pretty little towns. There we are. No. Well, there you go. So I'm not sure. Looking here at any kind of comments, we've got about 10 people here. You can see people are on the YouTube live stream are following along as we look at these, try to find these remaining results. The first CD Republican race is not called yet. Let's see what we got there. That is extremely close. Joyce is up by about 6.5, with 80% of the precincts in, including most of the big ones. Let's see what we got here. Look at that. It looks like Prescott's built a little bit of a lead. Joe Kelly Levasseur, on the strength of Manchester, was keeping it close. Let's see how he did in Manch. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Levasseur won Manchester 4,300 votes to 1,000. But then you get all these little towns. Prescott, he wins Stratham by 22 points. Wow, Novoletsky did pretty well out there in the coast. Hampton, pretty big town. It's about a 50-50 town. Prescott nearly won that. Yeah, you can see Joe Kelly really struggling outside of Manchester, Greater Manchester. He won Bedford. He won Goffstown. He won Merrimack, Auburn. But it's as soon as you get about 2 towns away from Manch, he falls through the floor. Look at that. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Kingston. So we'll see. There's some votes left. Chris Pappas does not yet know who he will be running against. And then Lily Tang Williams won. I wouldn't call that an upset. I think a lot of folks thought Man Sharmani was going to win. Frankly, he might have been the best general election candidate the Republicans could have put up, I think. So I think that is, I don't think it's going to matter, but on balance, that's probably a good thing for Maggie Goodlander, our new nominee. I'll take one more look here at this District 2 primary. Yeah, it's been called, but Karen actually was pulling away a little bit further. So there you go. And then here we go. In that primary, it looks like Hopkinton is the only town not in. But she's going to be fine. And we had some state house primaries around the state. And we'll take a look at those tomorrow. I don't believe any of them were going to be too consequential in terms of winning or losing seats. Most of them were in pretty safe districts. Actually, we had one in Peterborough, I believe. One of my favorites, Ivy Van, was in a primary. Gonna see if we have any results on that real quick. She is fantastic. Let's see here. You got, okay, yeah, okay. We had some Free Staters in Manchester that were trying to sneak in. Yeah, unfortunately, Ivy did not win in her primary. We're looking here, okay. Some more Free Staters who did not. Okay, yeah, there we go. That was pretty, nothing too crazy going on as I'm doing a quick look here. A lot of Republican primaries. That was a contentious one in Newmarket. Ellen Reed was in the middle of some controversy on the Republican side. There was a state Senate primary nearby, and one of the Republican candidates actually was supporting Ellen Reed, which I don't fully understand that. But at any rate, Ellen ended up getting the most votes in that field, so good for her. And then nothing too much in Exeter. There was a primary there. Scrolling down quickly before we call it a night. See what else we got here. That's right. Durham often has primaries for their state rep race, and they had another one tonight. And it looks like all current and past incumbents emerged victorious in Durham. Same thing in the Madbury Lee district. Let's see, there was another one there. Nothing too wild there. Okay, Rochester, there was a primary. Okay. Take one more look. John Stephen has won in Executive Council District 4. That's the Manchester-based district. It's not a big surprise. Karen, again, her lead is just expanding. A few folks were asking earlier about Executive Council 5, District 5, Melanie Lebec, Shoshana Kelly. Melanie ended up pulling away in that one. And that's what we have there. So I'll say this: it's 11:13. There's really no more news. It's probably time for us all to go to bed. And I think that's a pretty good way to call it. So, Laura, great to see you. I'm going to be the MC at the Hillsborough County picnic in a few weeks, 2 Sundays. I'm looking forward to that. And if I don't see you before then, I will definitely see you there. And anybody on the line that's going to be at the Unity Breakfast Thursday morning, I will definitely be there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Where is it now? Where is that one?
That is on the Heights in Concord. I don't recall exactly where. I have to look it up, but it starts early on Thursday morning, and they'll have all the winners and the folks that didn't win speak, and it'll be pretty good, I think, and get everybody hopefully up on the right foot for the general election, because it's rock and roll time now.
Well, they pulled the Hillsborough County Dems picnic on the same day as the Temple Harvest Festival. And I have to do both. I'm trying. I can only do one. Yeah, I have to do the Harvest Festival. So, and I have to get people to come to the Harvest Festival because we put up a big booth every year for the campaigns and the elections. And it's kind of like we start at 10.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, what do we do? Do we just ignore Temple this year, or do we, I already signed up for the booth, so I have to do something. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I hope there aren't a lot of folks with that conflict. Let's see. Actually, somebody and my channel. Let's see. Oh Hold on here. Gonna do this for somebody here.
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right, Laura, I'm gonna call it.
Good night,
I
Steve.
do have a few folks hopping on. And you know, Laura, if you want to keep going, hop on the YouTube channel directly.
Okay. Okay. I will talk to you later then.
All right, we'll do that. Okay. And then I'm
I
gonna
already
just
have
go
it
straight
there.
to. Oh, good. Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna go straight to the YouTube.